Jaynae Gordon, and welcome back to my educational channel. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Read Aloud Friday. I hope you are having an amazing day.
And of course, good night, everyone. Welcome to Read Aloud Friday. And of course, I am with you tonight to share. I am Deborah K. I'm sitting in with your beautiful host.
Jaynae Gordon, and you are on Jaynae Gordon's educational channel. And for the persons who are new to this channel, you can go ahead and like, share, leave your comments, and subscribe. And don't forget to hit that notification bell so you can be notified whenever I'm going live or uploading a new video. And you can also watch on the replay.
All right. So you heard it from Dijonae Gordon. And of course, let us say good night to the wonderful persons who are in the chat. For the persons who will be coming on this replay, feel free to watch, enjoy. If you are new, as Dijonae said, please remember to subscribe and also to turn on your post notification bell. All right.
And we will be sending the link in the chat soon.
All right. So, of course, today is Read Aloud Friday. And if you are excited like us to be a part of this session, type the word education in the chat. All right. Type the word education in the chat if you are excited, right? Also, for you to participate in tonight's activity or on screen with us, I am going to be dropping the link shortly. And of course, you are going to come up on screen and you are going to read your story. All right. So persons from all over the world are watching you. And of course, I see Mr. Brooks right there.
Saying education.
And education is what he said. Welcome, Mr. Brooks. Mega love, welcome.
Mega welcome to you.
And of course, feel free to share the live, guys. Tell a friend to come on over and to have fun with us as we show or as we model what good reading is. And of course, remember, if you want to be a part of Dijonae's membership, please feel free to join. No force, right? And of course, she's also open for super chat and super sticker, right? So guys, we're not gonna waste any time, and of course we have with us the dynamic DD girls. And of course, if you are not connected to that channel, feel free to go ahead and to connect. DD girls, one of Dijonae's membership, and of course you will see the DD girls over there. And of course they are welcoming you. We also have Kashina Nelson right here with us.
Hello,
and Kashina is saying hi, good night. And of course, let me see who else is here with us. We are a bit late, guys. We're off on a late start. You know, school is back. So, you know, traffic on the road. Yeah. So we have to.
Shamar Brooks.
We have Shamar Brooks. Welcome, Shamar. Thank you for coming on over.
And Shamar Brooks is saying good night. Good night, Shamar Brooks.
And he said education.
That means he is ready to read aloud Friday.
All right. We also have Empress with us, and Empress said good night. Mega love, share out to you, Empress. Thank you so very much for coming on over. All right. So, of course, we're not going to waste any time tonight. We're going to go right into tonight's activity. And, of course, if you are ready to hear what we have to share with you from Dijonae's educational channel, feel free to tap the word
education in the chat.
All right, tap the word education in the chat.
Guys, we are excited, but we don't know about you.
Yes, we are super excited to share and to model what good reading is on Dijonae's educational channel. And if you are new to this channel, on a on a Tuesday, Dijonae goes live where she would normally do.
Vocabulary building.
On a Wednesday, she normally
Does Game Time Live where we do educational games. On a Thursday is when I do Match of where we do match. And on a Friday, back to this, we do say it with me, mommy.
Read Aloud
Friday. And that is the day when everybody has to come on screen and read their story.
And of course, remember now, the story, it can be a Bible story, it can be a fiction.
Regular story. It doesn't have to be a long story. It can be a short story. It can be any kind of story you want.
All right. So you heard it from Dijonae. So we are not going to waste any time. So for all the persons who are here, welcome, welcome, welcome. And of course, tonight the story that we're going to be starting off with is
The Kind Tree.
The Kind Tree. All right. So if you know what a tree looks like, type the word education in the chat. All right. So you know, human, of course, we depend on the plant. Yes, we depend on the plant for what? Oxygen. And of course, yes.
And of course, that oxygen comes from trees and plants.
Yes. And of course, they depend on us for carbon dioxide. And of course, tonight we are going to be talking about the kind tree. All right. So, you know, if you think you are kind, type the word education in the chat. All right. So, even the tree, they are kind. Let's see what the story is about. The title is
The Kind Tree. So, as Mommy said before, we are not going to waste any time to read. Okay, right? So, let's jump right into this story. The title of the story is The Kind Tree. A tall, handsome tree stood in a great forest on a hill. Its branches were wide, strong, and shady, with dark green leaves. The tree often felt very lonely. When morning broke each day, the tree would say, "What a lovely morning! I wish someone would visit me today." But no one came, and at evening the tree felt very disappointed. I wonder why the tree is disappointed. One lovely morning, the tree had a pleasant surprise. Two brown birds fluttered and chirped among its branches. "Hello," said the tree to the birds. "Welcome to my branches." The birds were pleased with the welcome they received. "We hope we are not disturbing you, Mr. Tree," said Mr. Bird. Oh no, my little friends. I'm glad you chose to stop here. You can rest your weary wings," laughed the happy tree. "Thank you," chirped the bird. The tree gazed lovingly at the pair of birds. "How did you reach here?" the tree asked. "We have traveled hundreds of miles. Our wings are weary. We are looking for a place to make a new home," said Mr. Bird. "Have you lost your home?" "How did you lose your home?" asked the tree. "It's a long story. Let me find some food for Mrs. Bird. When I return, I'll tell you all about it." Flapping its wings, Mr. Bird flew into the bushes and soon returned with a bunch of berries. He gave it to Mrs. Bird, who was hungry. Mr. Bird told the tree how his beautiful peaceful home has been destroyed by human beings. Once we lived in a beautiful home. There were lots of trees, shrubs, flowers, and animals. Ooh, there were berries and cherries everywhere. One day, a gang of men came with saws and axes to cut down all the trees of the forest. Birds flew away in flocks. The animals scampered away for their lives. Since then, we have been flying, looking for a home to build our nest. I'm very sorry to hear about your home, the tree said sadly. We must move on, said Mrs. Bird. I'm ready. We can leave now. Won't you like to stay with me? Asked the tree. You may stay here as long as you wish. Please stay, pleaded the tree. Thank you, said Mr. and Mrs. Bird. The tree was no longer lonely. It listened to the birds whistle in the early morning, and it laughed when many little birdies were born. As time passed, many more birds decided to make this tree their home. How good is it to have friends in your home? The tree exclaimed. And that is the end.
And that is the end of that story. All right. So in this story, in paragraph 1, there is a word that was mentioned, and there is a word that is the same or nearly the same as sad.
Sad,
Sad.
sad.
What make them sad?
What makes them sad?
So at the end, you heard, but no one came,
And
and
then,
it
and
and
at
at that morning or evening,
the tree felt very
disappointed.
disappointed.
Can you imagine a tree being disappointed?
A tree being disappointed.
Aww.
Er,
So of course the word disappointed was used in the passage. And of course, can you
alright.
tell me from the
From the
story that a suitable title? What was the story about?
about
What was it about? What was the story about?
and your answers.
So it was about, I'm waiting.
If you have your answers, type them quickly in the chat. If you have your answers, type them quickly in the chat. If you have your answers.
So that's one answer that we're waiting on.
The three choices.
All right. We know that the passage was about what? Trees, right?
Trees.
It
Yes.
was about trees.
Trees.
And of course, we want you to write the words which describe the word tree. So
Tree.
tell us what they say about, we're looking for some describing words now.
Describing words.
What are some of the words that they use to describe the tree?
What are some words that they use to describe the tree?
The tree was?
Kind.
Of course the tree was kind.
Yeah, the tree was kind.
Also the tree was?
Disappointed.
The tree was disappointed.
And those are things of how you can describe the tree.
So they are describing words. So you know describing words, adjectives. are describing words. All right. So, guys, thank you for coming. Thank you, thank you, thank you for being here. And of course, you are all welcome to Dijonae's educational channel. And of course, we also use the word happy to describe the tree. All right. So the next one now, we also have the word branches. What did they say about the branches? What about the branches?
What about the branches?
The branches were comfortable. They were welcoming, huh? Of course. And of course, guys, it was so much that was said in this story. The branches, of course, they were also wide. So they used the word wide to describe the branches. They also say the branches, they were what?
Wide,
Strong,
and shady.
And of course, they had what?
Dark green leaves.
They had dark green leaves. So if I tell you to describe the leaves, of course, we could say the leaves were green. And not only that they were green, they were dark
green.
All right.
Dark
So
green.
good going, good going. All right. So now we're going to be looking at another part of the same story. And what we're going to be looking at is values.
Values.
We're going to be looking at values and, of course, preserving our forest. All right, so we're looking at value right now. All right, so we are going to go right into tonight's activity. And of course, we said we're looking at values and we're looking at preserving our forest. We are looking at preserving our forest. And of course,
a forest is the home of animals and insects. If their homes are destroyed, where will they go?
So you see, the forest is known as the home for insects
and animals.
So the question is, if you destroy their home, where would they go?
Where will they go to live now?
You know that some insect gonna come and move into person's house because their habitat is destroyed.
Come and live in their house.
And of course, they're gonna move to other places outside of the forest because guess what? If it is destroyed, then they have nowhere to stay when they're there. So you know, destroying the forest, you're gonna be destroying the trees, and you know, of course,
the plants.
The plants. Some insect they live on plants. You know, the birds they live where? In trees.
In trees.
That's where they make their nest.
Nest and have their little babies.
And have their
little babies.
Little ones. And of course, also,
when a forest is cut down, many animals die.
Of course, they will die because guess what? They have nowhere to live and they have to be flying all over. For example, the birds. Yes, trying to get somewhere to rest.
And trying
to lay their eggs.
And trying to get something to eat for their little ones.
Of course. And you know, that's where most animals feed as well. So you see, guys, we have to make sure that we preserve our forest. We have to keep it safe. We have to try as much as possible not to harm our living things that are living there. Okay? because remember that living things, they have basic needs. And of course, when we talk about basic needs of living things, we are talking about food.
Food.
Of course, the animals and insects that live in the forest, they need food. Of course, we talk about shelter when we talk about basic needs.
Shelter.
And of course, they need shelter, and the forest is also used as a shelter for small plants too, insect and animals. And of course, guys,
It is a crime against the environment.
And also
Who is it? Who is to be blamed for the deaths of these animals?
who is to be blamed?
For the death of those animals.
It's the persons who are destroying them. And
Yeah.
most time persons who go about destroying the forest are the persons who are not knowledgeable about the importance of having the forest. It encourages rainfall, of course. You know that. Remember now that the trees that are in the forest, they are there for several purposes. Yeah, they serve a lot of purposes.
Yeah.
Okay? So it's not good for us to destroy the forest, okay? Let us try as much as possible to preserve our forests.
Alright. Who is it? Who is to be blamed when plants of our forest are destroyed?
Who are to be blamed?
When their plants in the forest are destroyed.
Who are you gonna blame?
Who are you gonna blame? Other people?
All right.
We should preserve our forest and our wild animals.
We should preserve our forest
And our wild animals.
and our wild animals. So you see, remember I said wild animals, they live in the forest. And of course, we are to preserve the forest so that we can keep them safe, so that their habitat is safe for them to stay. And you know, that's where they sleep, eat, and grow. Right? So we still have something more on trees for you, you know.
Yes.
And we're looking at further reading as it relates to the forest. For further reading, the importance of the forest. So we're looking at some importance of the forest now.
Forests provide a home for wild animals.
And we said that earlier. The forest, it is like a home for wild animals. When we talk about wild animals, we're talking about animals that live, grow of their young, and of course, they live in the forest. Also,
trees breathe carbon dioxide, which is harmful to man.
So remember now, we explained earlier when we were talking that the trees, they are very important. Why we say they are very important, we say that from the tree or from trees, we get what? Oxygen. And of course, we say from us, the tree, they get carbon dioxide. And of course, we're talking about gases now that living things need in order for them to survive. So you see, we depend on trees or plants, and plants depend on us. So we are important to each other. All right. So can you imagine what would have happened or what will happen if we destroy the forest? We have no oxygen coming to us. What do you think will happen if we destroy all the forests? Huh? Then we will not be able to get what? What is it that we won't be able to get? We won't be able to get the oxygen that we need to survive. Huh? And of course, you know that the carbon dioxide, you see, trees breathe in carbon dioxide, which is harmful to man. So we can't store it on the inside because it is harmful, it is dangerous, and that is why we pass it out. So you see, that is exactly what I'm talking about. So we're talking about further reading and we're talking about the importance of the forest. And of course, we have Sister Stormy with us tonight. And of course, Sister Stormy, she came in and she said, blessings. Didi girls, mega welcome to you, Stormy. Thank you for making it. Dijonae Johnny Gordon's educational channel. And of course, if you are just coming on in, we are talking about trees. And of course, we are now looking at the importance of forest. All right. So now we know that the
Roots of trees absorb water and prevent floods.
all right. So we know that flooding happen mostly in lowland areas, right? So when we talk about physical features, we are talking about the mountains, the valleys, the plain, the plateau. We're talking about all of those. So of course, thank you so very much, Stormy. And she said, great topic. Thank you very much, Stormy. And of course, for the physical features, you know that low-lying areas, whenever we have a flood, those areas normally get flooded out, right? And of course, you know that from the hill, from the hill, all the water is going to be running down to the low flat land. And of course, it is going to settle right there. So remember, Dijonae just told you that the roots of trees absorb water and prevent flooding. Of course, how does plant get water? All right, remember I spoke about what we need to survive, what plants need to survive, and of course, water is very important. All right, so remember now, when the mineral in the soil, remember the plant cannot take it up as it is because it is in the solid state. So it has to become liquid in order for the plant to take it up. And of course, the plant will take it up only when it becomes liquid. So here now, the water in the soil is now important, but too much of it will cause flooding. So guess what now? When the water is in the soil, of course, the plant root here, they are going to take up the water with the minerals. And of course, it is going to go right up to the plant part. And of course, that is what is going to happen. So can you imagine destroying all the plants, all the forests? You know that we would have a lot of flooding. As the little rain comes, we just start flooding away, right? And of course, we need to preserve our forest. All right. And we have to make sure that we do a lot of tree planting as well. Very important now. Also,
trees prevent landslides.
So trees prevent landslide. What is it that I'm talking about, or we are talking about when we say trees prevent landslide? All right. Landslide is basically you seeing the soil loose, and it run down, run away, slip away from its original position, right? So basically now, what happened right here? It is because too much water is in the soil, and that is what causes landslide to take place, right? Landslides to take place. All right, listen carefully now.
All right, you ready from the beautiful co-host.
And of course, the trees help to prevent landslide. Oh, because the roots of the plant or the roots of the tree, they are the one that helps to hold the soil together. All right. So if you look carefully, when you pull out the root of a tree, you realize that you're gonna be seeing like everything coming up at you. Yeah. So you see, can you imagine? Can you imagine we come and we cut down all these trees? You know what's gonna happen. You know what's gonna happen. All right, so let's go to we're talking about the importance of the forest. All right.
Alright.
So
Forests give us timber for building houses and furniture.
all right, no. So here Dijonae is telling us that from the forest you will get timber for building houses and furniture. All right. So what we're talking about, some persons may not understand what we're talking about. So we're talking about the same wood that you use to make your furniture, like your nice, the same thing you call the board. That's what we're talking about. The one you used to make your dresser, the one that you used to make your chairs, your table, your wood table. Yes. So that's what we're talking about. But remember now, we're talking about the importance of the forest. Yes. So you may say, oh, is it that you're talking about preserving, preserving our forest? Remember now, you are going to plant, you are going to keep planting. So even though you may cut one down, you replace by planting another one. All right. So in that event, we will always have our forest going, right? We are trying to preserve as much as possible. All right. Because you know that we need furniture. We need houses. And of course, you know that it's the same thing that you call board house. Board house. And of course, guys, great going. Mega love Cheryl to you. Thank you for coming on and thank you for making it Dijonae's educational channel. We are talking about preserving our forest. And of course, the topic for tonight's story that Dijonae just read is a kind tree. And of course, let's take the next point from Dijonae.
The trees beautify the environment.
So trees beautify the environment. What is your environment? Your surrounding, huh? Of course, they beautify the environment. They make it look beautiful. Can you imagine those beautiful trees that you see flowers on? The flower on the tree, of course, they make it popping. And of course, when you look at them, when it is green, when it is winter, when it is spring, and of course, you know what we're talking about. All right. So great going. Thank you so very much. And of course, we have Jessie's World.
Hello, Jessie's World. Hello, baby girl.
And of course, Jessie is saying, Hi, Dijonae.
And Miss Stephanie.
Welcome, Jessie. Thank you so very much for coming on in. What we're doing tonight is that we're talking about trees. And of course, we're talking about the importance of the forest. All right. So also we have right here.
Forests protect us from strong winds in times of hurricanes.
All right. So we have right here where it says forests protect us from strong winds in time of hurricane. And of course, the trees, they serve as windbreakers. So you say the same thing that you said, the tree, you see when it is hurricane time, you see that the trees dancing like this. So can you imagine that wind, the force coming exactly at your house, at you, it may blow you down. So you see, it is acting as a windbreaker, so it is shielding. Yes, it is taking off some of the wind. All right. So we need to make sure that we try as much as possible to preserve our forest. All right. So we were just looking at how we can go about preserving our forest. And of course, we're looking at some importance of the forest. But of course, we have with us, we have Nisha James
Nisha.
TV. And of course, welcome, 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 Nisha, Sister Nisha. And of course, she said,
Hi, baby girls. Blessings and love to you guys. Keep up the great work. Gonna head back into class. You're in the end. Thank you so much for watching the ads, guys.
all right. So mega love, share out to all of you. And of course, welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for coming on in, sis. And of course, guys, she is one of Dijonae's member. If
So
you are
if
not,
you don't, so if you don't have her, you can go over to her channel and connect with her
all
and try
right,
and support her.
as much as possible. All right. So also, she is saying,
Thank you, Sister Stormy.
and of course, she's also saying,
My beautiful daughter loves you.
so
Jesse,
Jesse,
you're getting some love from your mommy.
all right, and of course, greetings to the chat. She's sending some greetings to the chat. And also, she said, heading back to class now.
Class now.
Bless up, guys.
Okay, we understand. Have a good class.
And of course, we are going to move right into another part with.
The strange tree.
So now we're going to be talking about the
Strange tree.
All right.
Away beyond the Jarboy house, I saw a different kind of tree. Its trunk was old and large and bent, and I could feel it look at me. The road was going on and on, beyond to reach some other place. I saw a tree that looked at me, and yet it did not have a face. It looked at me with all its limbs. It looked at me with all its dark. The yellow wrinkles on its sides were bent and dark. And then I ran to get away, but when I stopped and turned to see, the tree was bending to the side and leaning out to look at me. What a strange tree indeed.
All right. So that was a story about a strange tree. So from tonight's story, guys, we learned that trees are very important. Trees are very important. And of course, we need to preserve our forests. We need to preserve our forests because there are so much that we use the forest for. All right. Mega love to all of you.
Ooh.
All right. So I must say to you, thank you all. Thank you all for making it Dijonae Gordon's educational channel.
Welcome to all of you all. Lessons to Tanisha, blessings world, blessing everybody. And if you are new to this channel, so you can go ahead and like, share, leave your comments, and subscribe. And don't forget to hit that notification bell so you can be notified whenever I'm going live or uploading a new video. And you can also watch it on the replay.
All right. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you so very much. Also, what we're going to be looking at now, is that we are going to looking at something else. We're going to be looking at something else. And we're going to be looking at, we're still at trees. We're going to be looking at
caring for plants.
Caring for plants. So we're looking at the values, right?
Values.
We're still at values and we're looking at caring for plants.
In the lesson, Laura was fascinated to see plants grow from tiny seeds. She was determined to have a garden of her own. Gardening is a hobby which brings joy and
satisfaction to people. Do you have a garden of your own?
Do you have a garden of your own? You can follow Laura's example. You too would experience the joy and satisfaction Laura felt.
All right. So let's look at this. We're at further reading now, and how a plant grows.
So remember how a plant grows.
So remember we spoke about taking care of our forest. So in the event that you destroy a tree and you need to plant it back, this is an example of how you can go about planting a plant. How a plant grows. All right? So let's go ahead.
So you put the seed in the soil.
So the first thing you would do is to
put the seed in the soil.
All right.
Then the seed sends out a root downward.
So the seed is going to send out a root downward.
Then the seed sends out a shoot upward.
So first, it's going to send out
it's going to send out a root downward.
Then it's going to send what?
Then it's going to send the seed out a shoot upward.
All right. And then what is going to happen?
Then the shoots are going to grow like tiny leaves above the ground. And the roots go deeper into the ground.
So you see, it's getting deeper. All right. And then the next thing that will happen is
the seed feeds the plant. And the roots spread and grow downward to get food. Then more shoots reach upward to get air and light, and the seed gets smaller.
So you see, that's what we're talking about. Remember, we were talking about if we destroy the plants, then we will have a lot of flooding. So you see, now this is telling us that, remember, we're talking about how to plant, how a plant grows. So of course, Dijonae just said to you that the seed feeds the plant, and of course the roots they spread and grow downward to get food. Remember we said that, and the food that they will get will come up through the root when it is in the liquid state. So guess what? Remember that the water that is in the soil is going to ensure that it what? Becomes liquid.
Yeah.
Because remember that it is in the, remember now that if it is fertilizer that you put in there, it is going to be, fertilizer is going to be looking like sugar. It is in the solid state, so it must be liquid. Remember now the plant roots, they can't take up solid food. It must be in the liquid state. So of course, when it grows, When it grows, it reaches downward to get here and light. All right. So also the seed gets smaller. And of course, what is going to happen here is that we're going to get a
New
new,
plant.
we're going to get a new plant.
And then that's it.
And then that's it.
And then you're gonna get a new plant.
And then of course, you're going to sit there and you are going to watch it grow. You are going to watch it grow. And of course, we have here with us Sister Nisha.
And she's saying, I will check back. I will check back, Sister Deborah and Dijonae. Love you. Keep up the great work. Gonna head back into class.
All right.
All right.
Thank you so very much, Sister Nisha, for coming here. And of course, guys, mega love share out to all of you. Thank you for making it Dijonae Jaynae Gordon Educational Channel. And of course, guys, thank you so very much for coming on over. Mega love share out to you. And of course, we are grateful to have you tonight. Remember now, if it's your first time coming on Dijonae's Educational Channel, on a Tuesday,
we do vocabulary building.
On a Wednesday,
we do the Untitled Live.
And we're talking about educational games.
On a Thursday, where I do Landslide, where we do math. And on a Friday, back to this, we do Say it with me, Real Love Friday. And that is the day when everybody has to come on screen and read their story. It doesn't have to be a love story. It can be a short story. It can be a Bible story. It can be a regular story. Any story you want to come up with. And remember, this is not only for children. It's always for parents too. So you can ask, bring a friend to come up on screen and read their story.
All right. So, guys, if you are new to this channel, on Dijonae's Educational Channel, on a Friday during Read Aloud session, we have persons who come and model good reading for you. And of course, remember now, in order for us to be good readers, and of course, good writers, we must develop our vocabulary, because on Tuesday, that is what we do over here. We help to develop vocabulary together as a group. And of course, remember now that when we have a word, we also need to know the part of speech for that word so that we can know how to use it in sentences. And of course, we do that over here on Tuesdays. All right. And Tuesdays also, we ensure that we do as much as possible to help to develop literacy. Of course, we do a little spelling over here because we have to know the letters that are in each word. And of course, from there, we use the words that we identify also to do what? To help us to make sentences. And remember now, if you know how to make good sentences, you know your sight words. Of course, you will be able to read. But also, reading is not about calling words, because in order for you to develop comprehension skills, you must be able, and I said must, you must be able to understand passages whenever you read them. So it is not about just calling words telling us that, of course, you know your sight words, which is good.
And when it is Read Aloud Friday, you know that is the day when it is a fun day because you get to come on screen and read your story.
And of course, that is what persons look forward to, because it is always a fun session. Remember now, it is not only for Dijonae, it is not only for me, it is for the baby, it is for the young,
it is for the old, it is for the
teachers, it is for everybody. And of course, we are happy when persons are here to share and for us to share with them. And of course, if you are just coming on over here, if you're on the replay, you are welcome. Remember now to leave a comment on the outside so we know that you were here with us. Tonight's
Yes.
activity that we did was about a kind
Kind
tree,
tree.
the importance of the forest, and of course, the values, right? Preserving our forest is the best thing. And of course, if you are just coming on, you just saw me for the first time. Of course, I am Deborah K. I am Dijonae's mother. And of course, I am sitting in with your
Your
beautiful
beautiful
host.
host, Dijonae Jaynae Gordon,
And
and
you
you
are
are up.
live
And
on.
Dijonae Jaynae Gordon's educational channel. And if you do not have me, you can go on my channel and you can like, share, leave your comments, and subscribe, subscribe, subscribe. And you can also hit that notification bell so you can be notified whenever I'm going live or I'm uploading a new video.
All right. But before we go, we have with us AG
AG born
Born. And
Jamaica.
of course, AG, mega love share out to you. We are coming to you live from Kingston, Jamaica. And of course, you are officially live on
This
Dijonae
is
Johnny
Jaynae
Gordon's
Gordon's
educational
educational
channel.
channel.
And of course, if you are coming here, we just want to tell you guys we appreciate you all and we love you. For the persons in the back, for the persons in the chat, mega love share out to you.
I just love the sign.
All right. Thank you guys for coming on over. And of course, we are going to end this live. We're going to end this live. And of
With
course, we are going to end this live. And of course, we have AG Born right here. And of course, he sent you a super sticker.
and as you guys can tell, how I'm dancing is I'm doing a super sticker dance. Usually, when people send a super chat or a super sticker, I usually do a super sticker chat dance.
And this is a way of saying
Thank
thank
you,
you,
thank
thank
you,
you,
thank
thank
you,
you,
thank you.
thank you.
Thank you, AG Boy. Thank you, AG Boy Jamaican.
And of course, thank you so very much, AG Born. And of course, may God continue to bless you in everything that you do. I pray that whatever you touch, that your storage may never go empty. I pray that everything that you touch will be fruitful. I pray that God will rain down on you and to give you the strength so that you can go out and put your hand forth. And of course, blessing shall come your way in Jesus' name. All right. So thank you so very much, AG, and we appreciate you for coming and for contributing and for sharing your love with us. We are so happy to have you tonight. And of course, you are live on Dijonae's educational channel. And of course, AG Born is also a content creator, guys. If you don't have him, if you're on the replay and you don't have him, you can go over there and check him out as
And
well. All right. So
well.
on Dijonae's educational channel, over here, we try as much as possible to ensure that we make teaching and learning fun. And of course, over here we have healthy family. How do we know that our family is healthy? Is because we ensure that we are happy over here and we show love. Remember, you have to give what you want to receive. And of course, we give love, so we expect to get back love. All right. So we only talk about education. And of course, education is the most
Powerful needs time to change the world. You are this nation Gordon's educational channel.
and of course, guys, thank you so very much. So as we said, for the persons in the back, for the persons in the chat, we love you. We appreciate you all. Thank you so very much for coming on in. All right. So that was our activity on trees.
Alright,
And of course,
that was a little break on trees. Replay back on trees.
all right, guys, thank you so very much. Guys, we're going to end this live. We're going to end this live. We're going to end this live. Why? Because we want to, what Dijonae is trying to do, she's going to be labeling her stories. She's going to be labeling her stories. She wants to do another story for you, but she wants to give this one a title by itself. So she will end this live and she will come right back. All right. So thank you guys for coming on and thank you for sharing with us. We are going to end this live and we're going to come right back. Of course, until next live, we love you. Walk good. Have yourself a blessed one. It is okay if you are unable to come back on the next live, but we still love you. All right. Thank you so very much for being here. Mega welcome to all of you.